Hey, what's going on, Adam? How are you? Good to see you, man. All right.
Evening.
There's Joe.
Now we can start. Joe's here.
All right. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you very much. I want to welcome you to the Emergency Services Council meeting of April 18th, 2019. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Belmont. Brisbane. Burlingame.
Here.
Colma.
Here.
Daly City.
Present.
East Palo Alto. Foster City. Half Moon Bay. Hillsborough.
Present.
Menlo Park.
Present.
Millbrae.
Gotcha.
Pacifica. Portola Valley. Redwood City. San Bruno.
Present.
San Carlos.
Here.
San Mateo.
Here.
South San Francisco.
Here.
Woodside. County of San Mateo.
Here. Thank you very much. That brings us to item 2. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from January 17th, 2019?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That brings us to item 3. Before I go to item 3, I had a special request. Usually we save public comment till the end of the meeting, but Naweed Amin would like to speak to us for about 3 minutes. The reason I'm accommodating his request is because he has children at home and has no other childcare options for tonight and has to head home. Mr. Aween.
Thank you, Chairperson Canepa. Good evening, council members. My name is Naweed Amin, a county resident, and today I want to share some solutions and insight to some issues that fall under the purview of the council. The privacy policy that is posted on SMC Alert is directly from Everbridge, the software vendor behind SMC Alert. The privacy policy does not address minors using SMC Alert. It does not state how the sheriff's office treats subscriber information, and it is not in an easy to understand language. Since privacy is a right in the California Constitution, it's important for the sheriff's office to have a comprehensive privacy policy. Remember, adults and minors use SMC Alert. The privacy policy must be in an easy to understand language that even minors who are subscribed to SMC Alert can understand the privacy policy. Please create a comprehensive privacy policy for SMC Alert. This morning, today, as a subscriber, I received a preparedness meeting from Alameda County's AC Alert system, commemorating the 1906 SF earthquake. The AC Alert showed Alameda County OES's sample home preparedness kit in a see-through plastic bin, water storage techniques, and links to other resources. SMC Alert and AC Alert are powered by the same vendor, Everbridge. Both systems are capable of issuing preparedness messages. Please remember, we, the public, are always entitled to reasonable expectations of public safety and resources that we pay for, such as SMC Alert. Please create a preparedness alert policy. Please issue preparedness alerts when and where appropriate through SMC Alert. The following is an example of SMC Alert not being used when and where it should have been. On April 3rd, 2018, the San Bruno police tweeted multiple times letting people know to avoid a specific location in San Bruno, and yet did not issue any SMC alerts, and no SMC alerts were issued by any entity regarding the YouTube shooting incident. Everbridge, the software vendor, told me that their system was operational and ready to use during the time frame of this incident. San Bruno PD told me that they dropped the ball on this. This lack of SMC Alert erodes public trust and confidence in SMC Alert and public safety. Please find out whether this example of SMC Alert not being used is an outlier, and if there are other examples of SMC Alert not being used at all. Please issue training and usage audits of SMC Alert senders. Please form a SMC Alert committee to look into this and other alert issues. Now, there is a handout. There's 22 copies. I was asked to provide 22 copies, so you're more than welcome to take a look at that. And thank you, Chairperson Canepa, for letting me, for honoring my request.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amin. What we'll do is we'll pass that out right now through the clerk. I appreciate it. I know you have to run and to get home, so thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good night, council members.
So that brings us on to item 3, operational area report. Captain Denton.
Good evening, everyone. In front of you should be attachment A for our operational area report. Happy to report that all the numbers remain the same, pretty much standardized of how they went last quarter and how they've been going routinely throughout the last year or so. The numbers have not spiked in any way. So if anybody has any questions, I'll take those now on that. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next item.
Are there any questions? The reports before you, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So that brings us to item 4, old business, which is elected officials guide for Board of Supervisors.
So the elected officials guide that we've been talking about is almost completed. We're vetting it, the very last stages of it, and hopefully we'll have that out to you. And once it is completed, it will be coming to all of you, and it's for you to look over and use at your discretion. That's it.
Thank you very much. That brings us to new business, which is 2019-2020 JPA budget. Mr. Tunk.
If I could just momentarily, I have a couple things I want to add. Sorry, Dennis. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Kevin Rose, who was promoted to our emergency manager for San Mateo County. So he's essentially the director of OES. He took that lieutenant's position that we used to have in the position. Now it's been civilianized. So congratulations to him. Welcome aboard.
So I think it's worth acknowledging before, and when I was on the board, OES board as a city council member, usually it would, we'd have a lieutenant, and then that lieutenant would move to different positions within the organization. I think by having an OES civilian manager, it'll provide us greater stability, and hopefully Kevin will be here for a very long time. So I want to just thank the OES staff for over a period of years listening to the board. I know Kevin has a tremendous amount of expertise and knowledge and background. I know we've worked together with Mike Callaghy when we did the exercises outside in terms of the protection of the county building, and so I just want to congratulate you and wish you all the best. And with that,
Great, thank you. And then in front of each of you, I placed two documents from PG&E regarding the public safety power shutoff that they will be pushing forward and doing this summer when they get to these 5 triggers that are at the bottom of the page. I put those in front of you just so you can read through them. If we have questions, we can address it at the next ESC council meeting. But I would advise that obviously these are things that you might want to talk about with your police chief, fire chief, and emergency managers, because this is going to happen. And Cal OES is already having conference calls with us so that we can get everybody prepared for living without electricity. So, and then finally, I'd like to invite the representatives from the health department up here. They have an award they want to give out. Shruti Depatkar from the health department is going to come up along with some of her representatives and to issue an award.
Good evening. My name is Shruti Dhapotkar. I'm the emergency manager for San Mateo County Health. I am here to actually just speak a little bit about Emma Hunter, who is getting an award from California Emergency Managers Association for her amazing work. Ray Braden from the president of the California Emergency Services Association Coastal Chapter will be presenting this award. Emma has been an exemplary candidate for this award because she does it all. She is the overall emergency manager. She's created a redundant emergency system, communication system for San Mateo County Health that talks with hospitals. It's based on the Everbridge system, but the way she's created it, our lists are never older than a month old. So we have always an updated list of our providers, hospitals, and other health type stakeholders. She's also been the lead ever since Kevin left health for the COOP planning on the health side. She's also presented her work at the California Department of Public Health Emergency Preparedness Conference in 2018. So I would like Ray to come up and say a few words about Emma and provide the thing. Thank you again for having us today.
Thank you and good evening. My name is Ray Reardon. I'm the Director of Emergency Management at the City of San Jose. I have 32 years experience in the emergency management field. And as a president of the Coastal Chapter this year, I'm also serving as a State Board President. We represent over 650 emergency managers in the state from the public and private sector. And we represent them to legislation. We're actually helping support a bill right now in emergency management funding. And other programs in the development of the professionalism of the emergency management field. The awards every year are organized first within the chapter and then also at the state level. And then within the chapter awards, we have a variety of awards, and certainly we had a Rookie of the Year award, and that's what this award, Bill Singer, is named after Bill Singer, who was a tremendous emergency manager, loved to mentor new people coming in, loved to engage the new staff, new emergency managers, get them started, get them feeling comfortable about the field, and people blossomed. And that's what we see with the energy of the new and upcoming emergency managers in the field. And Emma is one of those who's really been exemplary in the response and development of programs and plans. So we were honored when we received the nomination from Shruti to accept her as the recipient of the Bill Singer Award, or the Rookie of the Year Award in our midst. And we apologize. We were supposed to get this out last September, but all the fires kept getting in the way. We had to cancel all our workshops. And I did say, Emma, let me know when there's a gathering like this so I make sure people recognize the award that she's received here. And a really short, funny story is I actually knew Emma when she was quite younger because her son was in my Boy Scout troop. So there's an engagement there, and I've enjoyed that communication with her. So Emma, if you would come on up.
Thank you for your time and letting them come and present the award. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Congratulations, Emma. We're really proud of you. You represent the best of the county, and so thank you. And so with that, that moves us to Mr. Tunk. Mr. Tunk.
Good evening, Chairperson Canepa, and Emergency Services Council members. My name is Dennis Tunch. I'm a management analyst with the San Mateo County Sheriff's Office Fiscal Bureau, and I am here to provide a brief overview of the fiscal year 2019-20 proposed Emergency Services JPA budget. The Emergency Services total proposed budget is $3,021,697. This is referenced as the total cost share. The total cost share in fiscal year 2018-19 was $2,834,960. The Emergency Services JPA budget is broken down into three components: the Sheriff's Office of Emergency Services portion of the budget, the Environmental Health Hazardous Materials Response Unit portion, as well as dollars allocated for state-mandated planning services. This last component is specifically designated for training and typically remains flat from year to year. There's an increase of $155,875 in the Sheriff's Office of Emergency Services portion of the budget. The increase in fiscal year 19-20 is largely attributed to negotiated salary and benefit increases, the San Mateo Consolidated Fire Contract, which includes a fire battalion chief designated as a liaison between law enforcement and fire personnel, the transition of OES operations from their current office space to the Regional Operations Center, which is currently being built and expected to open later this year, as well as modest adjustments related to various operational support changes. An increase of $30,863 within the environmental health portion of the budget is primarily due to the Belmont Fire Protection Contract, which provides hazmat services to the entire county. Overall, the total cost share increase of $186,737 from fiscal year 2018-19 represents a 6.6% increase. Service levels remain unchanged. By adopting the fiscal year 2019-20 budget utilizing $200,000 in reserves, the cost to all 20 city agencies would decrease by $100,000 to total $1,291,489, and the cost of the county would also decrease by $100,000 in total $1,243,988. Based on the information provided, we recommend the council adopt the fiscal year 1920 Emergency Services JPA budget utilizing $200,000 in reserves, and the Finance Advisory Group met on April 1st and approved this recommendation. Currently, the Reserve Trust Fund held by the Emergency Services JPA has a balance of $865,787. These reserves represent the gradual accumulation of operating surplus, interest earnings, and revenue from the San Francisco International Airport. Last year, the council approved the utilization of $406,745 in reserves to offset the 1819 budget and keep costs flat to member agencies. This leaves a projected balance of $459,042 by the end of the current fiscal year, barring any additional savings or revenue realized at the close of the current fiscal year. And my last slide provides an overview of the cost breakdown to each member agency. This was also page 2 of one of the attachments sent out last week to the council. As you can see, the overall change with the utilization of reserves increases $196,905 to all city agencies, and that impact is also affects the county as well. That concludes my overview, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have at this time.
Are there any questions? Seeing there are no questions, I have a motion to approve the 2019-2020 JPA budget.
So moved to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your presentation. That brings us to alert and warning. Kevin Rose.
Good evening, Supervisor Canepa and honorable members. In 2018, then Governor Brown approved SB 833 and written into law, which basically instructed the California Office of Emergency Services to create a state alert and warning guidance. It was supposed to be done by June 30th of this year. The gift came early, as of last month. That staff has been reviewing it, and basically what this is mostly for all operational areas for the 58 counties within the state of California, a guidance of not only the various federal and local alert and warning systems that exist, the integrated public alert warning system that comes from the feds, the wireless emergency alert system that comes from the feds that also is utilized by the state, the emergency alert system that comes from the feds that's also utilized by the state and us, as well as WIA, and then, of course, the encouragement for counties. Not all of them have their own public alert and warning notification systems. For us, in other words, SMC Alert, and then, of course, Reverse 911, for us, Everbridge, which is also the provider of SMC Alert. This guidance, fortunately, we did have contacts within the state and the committee that existed that was able to provide us updates on the draft as it was coming through. And the importance of that is that what we were able to do is, with the help of the Emergency Managers Association, comprised of certain respective city emergency managers, representatives from fire, as well as law and even public information officers. What we are going to do is, with this alert and warning guidance that came from the state, we're going to customize it specifically for San Mateo County. And this goes even further to not only just all of the different alert and warning systems that we have, but also into alerts with regards to sirens on the coast, to tsunami alerts. We have public PA systems that still exist, even through neighborhood checks, door by door, et cetera, social media, and what have you. So we are in the midst of beginning this work, and of course, by law, what they're also supposed to be doing as California Office of Emergency Services is to provide training on this alert and warning guidance as well. So in concert, what we'll be doing with this selective committee is developing the San Mateo County specific alert and warning guidance this year that we will be able to have available for you to look at and possibly even provide feedback before its final push. So that is with regards to the alert and warning.
Great. You ready to move on to the OES calendar?
Sure.
Yep.
The first item on the calendar that I wanted to talk about and invite everyone to is Coastside Community Preparedness Day on May 4th, Saturday from 12 until 4 p.m. This is, I've come and addressed before this group before, where we're going geographically placed community disaster preparedness days. We've had it up last April in the north with the help of Supervisor Canepa, and with the help of OES staff, City of Half Moon Bay, the Coastside Emergency Action Plan, and the Half Moon Bay Chamber of Commerce. What we're doing is bringing to the community in downtown Half Moon Bay this effort and opportunity for the community to interact with first responders and get a little more information from the subject matter experts. And I hope City of Half Moon Bay is here, and I'm very happy that they are here. We have the city manager, Mr. Bob Nesbitt, who'll come up and say a few words, as well as Corey Stalker from the city as well. Mr. Nesbitt.
Thanks, Kevin. Supervisor, members of the council, Bob Nesbitt, City Manager, Half Moon Bay. With me, Corey Stalker. She's in charge of emergency management for the city. So we are very excited about this. First, I want to apologize for Deborah Penrose not being here tonight. She had hip surgery about a week and a half ago. She is recovering well. I have not seen her, but I have texted her, and someone cited her walking down Main Street today. So she's walking, which is good. But yeah, we're very excited about this event. I've only been the city manager with Half Moon Bay for 6 months, but in my 6 months there, it really occurred to me that this is a priority in Half Moon Bay. It seems to be a priority in the county, and there seems to be a lot of events that have happened recently, regionally, and in the state of California, where this is on people's minds, I think. So the timing is right, and we thought it would be really cool to do something like, we know these events happen at a regional level, but we thought it would be really cool to do something kind of specific to Half Moon Bay. So we're really excited about it. We're going to close 2 blocks, and the staff has just been amazing to work with. So Craig, Kevin, and Brian Mulver, who's also here, have just been working with Corey to put this all on. We're going to have equipment out there, obviously, for the kids. They love that kind of stuff. We're going to, add a little Half Moon Bay flair, so it'll be fun. There'll be food. There's going to be music after. But the idea, of course, is getting the community together to talk about these things, have lots of education, tables, nonprofits, all that stuff. So we're really excited about it. I did bring some extra flyers, so you can each have one personally. I'll give them to the clerk. Yep. So we encourage you all to come, and we think it's just going to be a great event. And if you have any questions, Corey can answer more specific details about what we have in store.
Great. Are there any additional questions? It's pretty exciting. I remember we rolled this out in San Bruno. We did it at Skyline College. And so I think one of the things that I like, I'm looking at the flyer, is just sort of, the funness of it, closing 2 blocks down, but really reaching out to folks on the coast side and getting that information. And so I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to personally attend the event. I'm sure there are going to be members on the board that do that as well. But really, thank you. And thanks to Craig and Kevin for really being aggressive with the outreach to these different cities. So thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you there.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Chuang.
I just want to make a comment, and that is, in Hillsborough, what we did is that we are now starting what we call the Neighbor Fest. And it's similar to what you're doing in terms of engaging the communities and not just talk about preparedness, but make it fun and invited the community members, nonprofit and whatnot, and also Red Cross to come do CPR and engaging the fire department. So that is, we did it last year, and that was quite successful. And we engaged many families who bring their kids in and engraving them the importance of a preparedness. So I applaud you for doing that. Certainly, if there's opportunity, we would love to attend. Thank you so much.
Great, and thank you very much to the city for coming out to help support this and all the work that they've provided, and also to my staff as well as Brian Mulver, and then I also have Nolene Powers, who's the coordinator for San Carlos, shadowing Brian. So as we go to South Zone, she'll be ready and raring to go to try to emulate this and its success. And thank you very much. Any event, I know we always find the council member from Hillsborough there supporting us. Thank you. The next item I wanted, 2 more items I wanted to bring up in the OAS calendar, and one more is. Basically, the Bay Area Urban Area Security Initiative, and I've mentioned this before, basically we're in a 2-year endeavor of this first year being more of information gathering, sharing of plans, and more tabletop exercises of discussing with stakeholders, operational areas within the Bay Area, et cetera, regarding critical transportation. And the emphasis with critical transportation is on the ingress and egress for evacuation purposes, and then logistics and supply chain as far as how it goes from the feds to the state to what we call within the operational area in the cities the last mile of getting critical resources to the community and getting the community out of critical areas for safety and security. So for this year within 2019, there are going to be a series of hub tabletop exercises. So they've taken the Bay Area and basically broken them down into hubs. Typically, the West Hub is City and County of San Francisco and San Mateo. But for purposes of our design and what we have, including Caltrain and transit services that run up and down the peninsula, the hub is going to be expanded to include the city of San Jose as well as Santa Clara County. And for our West Hub, San Mateo County is the host for this tabletop exercise on June 6th. That'll be 1:30 to 4. We'll be sure to share the flyers with you. This is more so with regards to your emergency managers, fire, law, public works, other integrated partners, really to get a basis and understanding. We've also teamed up with the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, the Bay Area WASI, and MTC, because MTC annually has the type of critical transportation exercises and trainings. And so what they're going to be doing is with all of these hub tabletop exercises in the morning, they'll be having an information series basically from 9 to noon at the same location, the Belmont Sports Complex. So it'll be a management workshop in the beginning. We'll get the information to you. MCC, I believe, is still building the flyers. And then the tabletop exercise in the afternoon that you're more than welcome to stick around. And the reason why we're promoting this one more so is because of the fact that when we go to the regional tabletop exercise in September, that's going to be more closely focused on only certain respective representatives from each operational area, so that all operational areas can be there in attendance with state and federal and transport agencies at the larger level. So this is our chance and opportunity from the West Hub for San Mateo County specifically to provide our concerns, provide our lessons learned, some of our features that we can contribute to the regional piece. And then, of course, it's a 2-year endeavor. So in 2020 is when we'll delve into more information workshops and then functional and possible full-scale exercises to really test this out. Okay. Next one. Come on, come on. So I've stated this before, the last couple ESC meetings, and I do so now, and also with the support of the Emergency Managers Association. Because this year, as I mentioned, the Bay Area WASI is not going to be having any functional exercises, the county with itself has taken on sponsoring a functional emergency operations center exercise on Thursday, November 7th, 2019. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I do believe it, at the Regional Operations Center will be up and running, and it'll be our first exercise, basically to kick the tires, test the communications, really see a full EOC activation in place. Come Monday with the department heads, with the support of our county manager, we're going to be developing an EOC training program, in essence, for the county staff to basically have this full-size EOC activation in place. We've shared this with your emergency managers, and of course from their levels and up, and also from your levels and down. Please, all of the cities, if you could, through your executive staff, through your help and assistance and explanation, the importance of this, we would love to have all 20 cities participate in this functional EOC exercise. Activate your emergency operations centers as well. It could be partial, minimum, 3 to 5 staff if you want to go full bore, as some cities do. We welcome it. What we want to do is test the communications. It's a new center, a new system in place. We want to test situational awareness, the utilization of Web EOC. We also want to test resource requests and tracking, and to do so in a conducive learning environment. So the reason getting ahead of this is that we're also doing this with HSEEP planning, the Homeland Security Exercise and Evaluation Program that gets us recognized nationally by FEMA. By doing so, is that this exercise takes time to plan out. So we'll probably begin around June with various planning meetings, building up the objectives that we really want to test what your cities want to get out of this as well. And then also what's important about this is the training that needs to be conducted and planned and provided and done before the actual exercise. And then we will probably get in to the Rock beforehand, a few weeks before, to do a dry run as well, and might be able to utilize some cities to help us with that communications test. So November 7th, full-scale EOC exercise. We would love your participation as well, and even though you will get personal invites to come see the Regional Operations Center when it's open, we would also want to extend the invitation to you. Your city reps get you first, but day of the exercise to come down to the Rock and see the EOC in action as well.
Yeah, Kevin, one of the things I wanted to ask you, I think it would be, appropriate, once we open the regional the ROC, the Rock, just each board member should probably get an invitation. We should probably take a tour. It's great to have, city and county staff, But, it'd be great to, have this board and the elected officials on this board maybe get an early preview or tour, if we can make that happen, okay? Thank you for your report, Kevin. That brings us to the hazmat update. Item 4.
Chair Canepa, Council, thank you for a few minutes to give you an update on your County Hazardous Materials Response Team. I'm Kent Thrasher, the Deputy Fire Chief with San Mateo Consolidated Fire Department, and oversee the team along with my partner, Battalion Chief Jeff Thorne. So just a quick update on some numbers. I don't want to make this too long tonight. In 2018, the hazmat team had a total of just over 30 calls for service. Those calls for service range from everything from a 5-gallon bucket of paint that was unmarked and nobody knew what it was to some serious hazardous materials, chemicals, some acids and things like that. Recently, earlier this year, there was a white powder incident in San Bruno at one of the schools that I'm sure you all heard about. And I bring that up just to emphasize how well that call ran. Hazardous materials calls are very complicated. They can be very widespread. The home jurisdiction did a fantastic job of isolating the scene, of getting the children and the faculty to an area of safe refuge where they could monitor them, while we brought our team up along with the local fire personnel and the local resources in San Bruno and the surrounding departments to make an entry, identify a sample, pull it out, take it to Wayman Wong and his crew from the county, and they were able to analyze it. It was just baking soda, and everybody went home safe and sound. But it was one of those calls that heightened everybody's alert. The hazmat team was involved, local PD, local fire, several jurisdictions were involved. It went very smoothly, and your county did really well with it. I bring that up just to reiterate how well we do with those types of things, though we don't get them that often. Hazmat calls are very high risk, very low frequency. 30 of them a year is not that many, but we do train a lot. Our training hours for this year, we're already at the first quarter of the year, over 214 hours of training. We've done a lot of training with the local resources beyond the team. We spent some time in San Carlos today working with the local TCAT team. We were in Daly City working with their fire academy. So our team gets around to help train the entire county so that when we have an event like San Bruno, everybody knows what they're doing. We all work together. It hopefully goes fairly seamlessly. And with that, I'll close and offer it up for any questions. Great. Thank you.
That brings us to Ken Anderson, Emergency Managers Association update.
Good evening, Supervisor Campa, council members. Nice to see you tonight. On behalf of the San Mateo County Emergency Managers Association, I'd like to wish you all a happy Easter.
Right.
I have nothing to report.
Right. Okay, I don't know how to. Good job, Ken. All right, so that brings us to item 6, the American Red Cross update. Do we have a Red Cross representative?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Bill O'Callahan. Pleasure to be here. I'll give a brief report. In this last quarter, we've responded to 14 events, mostly fires in and around San Mateo County. In that, we've served over 74 clients, mostly 62 adults, 12 children. On the preparedness front, we've been really successful. We've completed 9 of 30 surveys. What we're trying to do is update all of the shelter surveys in all of the cities. So we've completed 9 of the 30 we've in this last quarter, and we hope to finish the rest of them before June 30th. We've also installed 232 smoke alarms in homes in San Mateo County. On 5/11 in San Mateo at Woodlake, we hope to install about another 100 more. That's a really big event for us. On 5/11, it's actually a national event that we're participating in with Red Cross throughout the entire nation. Training-wise, we've trained over 400 youth in 2 of our programs, Pillowcase and Race for Preparedness. Training, we've also trained over 200 people in shelter management. Most of these were through 10 classes that we had at the Human Service Agency, but we're also doing some training in your cities. For instance, today my team and I, we were in the city of Burlingame, and there was 35 people in the class, which was really good, and some other people from other cities were also there. So we're continuing to push that. But the training at HSA, we're Also, some of your other city members I know have been participating in that. Has been very invaluable to us. We've also trained over 178 people in the new hands-only CPR. We're looking forward to participating in the event on May 4th in Half Moon Bay. So we're working with Corey Stalker and with Brian, and we hope to be there and educate a lot more people and get more people prepared. Any questions about what the Red Cross is up to? All right. Thank you for.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Are there any announcements from any of the committee members? Yes, Mr. Sylvester.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I was reviewing the minutes, and I would like to inquire if staff has received any updates from the health office in regards to N95 masks. Apparently, okay.
Sure, yes, Councilman Sylvester. At the, I believe it was the Finance Committee, actually, Millbury Council member Ann Schneider was able to make contact with the environmental health representative to get the contact information for Dr. Scott Morrow, the public health officer. And so essentially what we'll do is the committee that was formed, consisting of yourself, Mayor Medina, and Ms. Schneider, upon her return from the sister city in Malta, will work with the public health officer in order to make sure that meeting occurs and happens.
that is outstanding. Just wanted to follow up on it. I'm definitely still interested, and I'm looking forward to working and collaborating with everyone on this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and many thanks to environmental health to help make that happen.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Are there any additional announcements? Kevin, one thing I think will be helpful, there's a lot of bills going through Sacramento around emergency preparedness. And I think one of the things that would be helpful, I think on a staff level, is for those bills to sort of be tracked and followed. And so we understand once they're adopted, how we're going to deal with them on a local level here, on a county level.
Correct.
City level.
Excellent thoughts and perfect timing. We have what's called a mutual aid regional, what does MARAC stand for? I'm sorry. It's essentially a group comprised of California Office of Emergency Services for Region 2, all the Bay Area counties stretching up to the North counties up to the Oregon border. And they had a listening session, basically trying to inquire from us additional information that they can help provide. And what they've done is they have daily news clips that come out that we try to sort to and bring to the fore most important aspects of it. And also legislation. So they are tracking legislation in various aspects, alert and warning, emergency management, fire risk safety, et cetera. And so, what we can do is once we receive that, we can create it as an agenda item, if you'd like, as far as certain legislation that might be of importance at ESC meetings. Would that be of interest?
I think either way, but I think maybe just a sort of a matrix that each of the members can sort of review on their own. And then if you identify one or two bills that you think, you feel compelled to speak about or is moving fast, I think that would be helpful.
Sure. Okay. And I can now, and I know everyone wants to get the Warriors game and watch and read the Mueller report, but SB 46, essentially that's State Senator Hannah-Beth Jackson that you know very well. She has basically taken SB 821 that, and the reason I'm looking to Jeff is Jeff has been invited to speak at select Senate hearings up at Sacramento and down in Carpinteria, where Senator Hannah-Beth Jackson is from. This is the bill that was discussed that the Board of Supervisors supported, in essence, of getting into contract and MOUs with public utilities. It was very specific with regards to public utilities, Pacific Gas, Electric, Water, and only for operational areas for counties in the county of San Francisco. What Senator Hannah-Beth Jackson has done with advisement and suggestions from staff like Jeff was expand upon not only the definition of a utility to include water agencies and also wireless companies, which is extremely important, but also those who can enter into agreement to not only just up to counties, but to cities, and what I thought was very interesting was to Cal State, UC, and community colleges as well. So this is a bill that's only in committee that I know even your staff is closely watching. That is something very similar to what we could do is provide updates as it proceeds and moves further along, or something to keep an eye on, and even if there was interest in to support those bills as well.
I just want to recognize Jeff Norris for all his work. So Jeff, like you'd said, he's been up in Sacramento. He's been in Southern California. He's been testifying on, on select committees. And so I think it's just critical to have a voice and to see that San Mateo County OES is engaged in that. Continue onward, Jeff. I know you're a very, very busy person. So represent us well, and hopefully when these issues do arise, we're able to kind of, be at the table and sort of identify solutions and hopefully the resources that come with it. And I know one of the things we're looking at in terms of the emergency notification is maybe potential funding from the state on that. So that's just something we have to really keep our eye on. So thank you very much. Are there any additional announcements? Okay, seeing none. Is there any public comment? Don't all rush up. All right, seeing no public comment, the next meeting for the future Emergency Service Council meeting is going to be on June 13th, June 20th, 2019. And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Go Warriors.
Indeed. Excuse me. I'm sorry to disrupt the Go Warriors. June 27th, we're actually going to have to move the meeting 1 week due to conflicts that OES has.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, though.
So the meeting's going to be moved to June 27th. Thank you very much.